How's it going, everybody? Chris Card's back through the mail. Monday, 6 returns for you today, including our very first one from Mid-Island, New York on this glorious February 17th, 2025. Already halfway through the month. Boy, February always goes quick. And we've got some answered questions back from Mr. Steve Dillon. Steve Dillon, a former Met, he got into one game way back in 1963. He got into 2 games back in 1964, did not fare well in any of those games, but he was around long enough to get a pretty cool 64 Topps card as well, signed by Ron Locke, and of course, debut inscriptions on that card by both of those players. Of course, I got Ron Locke back about a month ago, literally just before he passed away, so very happy to get that card completed and back. 76 SSPC card as well as a 91 Wiz card. Let's check out the questions here. Well, let's check out the answers, in fact. You guys know the questions. How many cards do you typically get each week or month? He says about 10 a month after I pitched in Old Timers Day on August 22nd, 2022. Yes, at 79 years young, he pitched at Mets Old Timers Day in 2022. He has no pet peeves. I enjoy signing my autograph to any fan of baseball. He said, best wishes, Steve Dillon, 63 and 64 New York Mets. Awesome return from Steve Dillon. In fact, here he is at the age of 79 at the Old Timers game in Citi Field, which is incredible. And I guess his popularity is what he's alluding to, picked up after this appearance. So great return from Steve Dillon. Nice to get that card completed. Cannot get it completed anymore, so happy to have another Mets card completed. Let's move on, guys, to return number 2. Fort Myers, Florida for return numero dos. As we move along here, we've got an unsigned index card, and we've got Mr. Ron Gardenhire. Ron Gardenhire, legendary Twins manager and coach. In fact, his first year coaching back in 1991 with the Twinks. They won it all that year, won the World Series. Of course, another Mets, played 5 years for the Mets, 285 games in the early 80s. Of course, he could not really stay on the field. He had a lot of injuries, including hamstring injuries. He was an infielder during his day as a New York Met, back when the Mets weren't that great, right before their heyday, in fact. Their only heyday, basically. 91 World Series champion, of course. 2010 Manager of the Year with the Twins. Awesome return from Ron Gardenhire. Need to dig up some Mets cards to get him to sign those next. Let's move on, guys, to return number 3. All right, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania for return numero tres here. I got an extra ounce stamp on it, which is that little school bus stamp. That adds an extra ounce instead of paying for a full first-class stamp. Because this is a thickie. We've got a thick one in here, and I think I know who this is from. And don't scold me. You guys are going to appreciate this probably. And we've got Bill Mazeroski, Hall of Famer 2001. That's right. Buccos, 56 to 72, his entire career with the Pirates. Inscribed with Hall of Fame on that glossy little Topps card, as well as 10-time All-Star there on that card. We've got a business card here that says, find us on eBay, Maz Memorabilia and more, and there's the information for that. Bill Mazeroski, of course, awesome player, $10 a card, so Chris Cards found 5 more cards and $50 and sent these off, and they look great, as they always do. Got a few inscriptions on here. That's very nice. I think I did ask for them. Wow, actually, I think you put them on almost all of them, so there you guys go. I think he's signed more stuff than probably Pete Rose has, because I checked his eBay thing out before, and there's a lot of stuff on there. We're talking batting gloves, game-used batting gloves, and like a jacket he wore during the Hall of Fame thing in 2001, and some other random items on there, some one-of-a-kind items, and of course lots of balls, lots of card signs. So nice return from Bill Mazeroski, still signing strong. Nice to see him still going, actually. Awesome return, Bill Mazeroski. Bunch of modern cards. I love getting signed. Let's move on, guys, to our next return. North Texas, Texas for our 4th return of the day here. As we tear into this envelope and reveal the contents of a 1965 Topps card of Julian Javier. 71 Topps card as well of Julian Javier. We've got 13 years in the bigs, 12 with the Cardinals, including, of course, 1964 and 1967 when St. Louis won it all. He was a very light-hitting defensive specialist there at second base. Did finish off his playing days with the Cincinnati Reds. Of course he did, right? Cup of coffee with them towards the end of his career, the last year of his career, actually. Even at 88 years young, Julian still signing strong. Very nice to get this back. Happy to have this two-time All-Star inked up on a couple of cards. Let's move on, guys, to return number 5. All right, gang, moving right along. We've got our next return here, if I can get it straightened out here for the camera. First time filming in 4K. We've got Phoenix, Arizona. Phoenix, Arizona for our 5th return. We got one more to go after this, gang. Yeah, filming in 4K for the first time. We've got Rene Lachemann. Rene Lachemann. We saw his brother last week, Marcel, on the 87 Topps Team Leaders card. Here he has signed an 84 Topps card, signed very nicely there, as well as one from his playing days with a painted-on hat. Rene Lachemann, 65, 66, and 68 as a player for the A's. KC the first 2 years, and Oakland the final year. Of course, he went on to win a World Series with the A's in 1989 as a coach. Really nice career for him as a catcher. There's information. Very first ever Florida Marlins manager. He led them through parts 93, 94, 95, and partly through the 96 season before getting canned. Awesome return from Rene Lachemann. Let's move on, guys, to our final return of the day. And our final return from El Paso, Texas. Down in West Texas, town of El Paso, I fall in love with a Mexican girl. Nighttime would find me at Rosa's Cantina. Music would play and Felina would twirl. We got Jerry Hinsley, guys. Jerry Hinsley on a 64 Topps and a 65 Topps card. Signed very nicely with his Major League Baseball debut inscription as well. Super cool. And, of course, I can get both cards completed, believe it or not, which is insane. Jerry played for the Mets in 1964, got into 9 games with an 8.02 ERA. Not very good. And he got into 2 more games for the Mets in 1967. Unfortunately, spent the rest of his career in the minor leagues. Jerry Hinsley. Nice to get a couple of these cards signed, and I'm going to be very excited to get these cards sent out in the mail ASAP and get them completed. They're going to look awesome when they're done. But not a very productive pitcher at the Major League Baseball level. Actually, in 67, he had a 3-something ERA, so not terrible. He just never got on the crack at the big. So there you guys go. There's this week's haul. Look at the beautiful cards I'm sure that you're looking at right now. And I know nobody noticed on Friday that my set update video did not get uploaded, but I was working on it. I actually filmed. First of all, I got to backtrack. Last week, I got new phones from my wife and I, Samsung Galaxy S25 Plus Ultra, and very cool phones. Very happy with them. Her screen cracked. I broke it. She's dropped it 100 times. Never broke. I dropped it twice, and it broke the second time I dropped it. So she was dealing with a shattered screen the last 6 months or so, and I have an antenna issue where I pretty much couldn't get reception unless I was parked on top of one of the cell towers, and I could get it on Wi-Fi at home and out and about sometimes when I had Wi-Fi. And when I was with my wife, which is super frustrating because we have the same carrier, she'd give me a mobile hotspot, so that's how I could use the internet sometimes when I was out and about, which is nuts. But I guess it's some kind of antenna issue with the phone. Otherwise, I would have kept the phone. So I'm not just willy-nilly upgrading my phone every year like a savage. I really needed a new phone, and so did she. So got the new phones, and I saw I can film in 8K. Of course, that's what I'm going to do, right? So I filmed my 1974 Topps update video in 8K. Now, if I screw up the video, I can just take the cards out of the binder and refilm it. There are only 10 cards. I guess it would have been that big of a deal. I could have done that, but I went to put the video file on my computer, and my computer wouldn't play it. My video editor wouldn't play it. And I kind of looked around, and it's like saying, this is a heavy-duty file, and your computer might not play it. So I kind of figured out that's what happened. But I do have a brand-new computer I purchased around Black Friday-ish, built a new one, and it's awesome, and it's heavy-duty. It's really beefy. And so I put the file on that computer, and that worked. I'm like, okay, so it played it. So at least the file played. And then the only problem is my video editing software is not on that other computer, that new computer. So I upgraded from version like 15 to version like 26. So I was using a much older version of the software, Pinnacle Studio, which I use to edit my videos. And I said to myself, you know what? It's time. I'm going to start making these bigger files, nicer videos, hopefully. And I'm going to need a little beefier computer to do it on. So I said, let's just upgrade the program. So I'm still learning the program a bit. It doesn't even encode in 8K. It encodes in 4K. So I finished my 74 Topps video, encoded it in the 4K from 8K, and uploaded it Sunday. And I think it looks great. I looked at my 74 Topps the previous update and then the update I did just over the weekend, and I think it's a huge difference. First of all, you can see all the specks of dust and everything, which is not great. So I have to keep that in mind moving forward. But I think it helps with the lighting. My lighting is not very good. I think it helps correct my lighting a little bit better, so I don't have to figure out a way to do it myself. And I think the picture looks really good compared to the previous 74 Tops video I did. So like night and day, like it looks like the videos I made in 2007 that look terrible and you really can't watch them right now. But I think it's really good. You guys will have to let me know on Friday when that video goes live at 3 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. It's all scheduled and ready to go. Of course, this video on Monday, so I knew about my 8K mishap, so I filmed this in 4K. I filmed Through the Mail Monday number 317 in 4K. Still couldn't play it on my old computer, which sucked, so I was like, okay, whatever. So it's on my new computer. That's where I'm working on it. That's where I'm finishing it up right now and doing my little spiel at the end, telling you guys about my whole my upgrade. And I haven't encoded it yet in the 4K, and I haven't uploaded it to YouTube. So you guys click on these settings and maybe switch it to 4K if it's not on by default, and see if it looks any better than my other, my last few weeks of TTM videos. So that's pretty much what I'll do when I upload it. So looking forward to seeing what it looks like. Hope it looks better. And moving forward, I guess I'll just be using my new editing software, which is a little cumbersome for me right now. I guess the more I use it, the better I'll get at it, I hope. But yeah, there's a bunch of new features on here I might play around with. But, my videos are fairly simple. I don't need a really powerhouse editor, but it is fun to play around with stuff sometimes. So I'll check it out and get good at it, hopefully. And which means I get to make these videos faster and faster, because my old computer, my old software, I had these videos down pat pretty quick. So this is taking me a little bit longer, which is frustrating because weather's going to start getting nicer. I'm going to have less and less time to be inside working on this stuff. So we'll see moving forward how it turns out. I'll let you guys know. Let me know if you guys see any difference in the video or even the photos or anything like that. Well, not the photos, because the only photos I have. The only photo I took with my new camera is the end where I do the haul. I have all the cards on there, so I'm interested to see what that looks like too. So anyway, that's it, my friends. I'm going to be done rambling right now. Thanks for watching. See ya.